Hey there, Breakfast Clubbers. Welcome to this week's episode of Back Issue Breakfast Club. I'm Crayle Vanest, your host, part of Phoenix Sisters Cosplay, and this podcast is a part of the Back of the Cereal Box podcast network. This week, we're going to be drinking coffee in my basement and talking about Aquaman Volume 1, The Trench. For those of you who only recently got into Aquaman because of the movie or anything, this is the new 52 version of Aquaman. It's by Geoff Johns, Ivan Reis, and Joe Prado. And it picks up at a very different point than what you might have been used to from the movie. But I promise you it's still very good, even though I did really enjoy that movie. So if you liked that movie, you'll probably really love this book. So catching you up, and it does some of this on its own too, but at this point in the story, Aquaman has already been to Atlantis, learned about his lineage, actually led the Atlanteans for a short period of time, and then decided to go back to live on land again, and given the throne to his brother Orm. Mira has gone with him, and the really big news at the start of this issue, that's all sort of like established. What's new now is he's also grieving the recent loss of his father. So he and Mira are, adjusting. They move back into the lighthouse. Aquaman's kind of reminiscing on his time with his dad when Amnesty Bay is attacked by these like scary black monsters that come up out of the trench. And the police, who don't really have a lot of respect for Aquaman because humanity at this point in the story doesn't really understand the things that Arthur Curry has already done for mankind, almost acts like it's an afterthought to be like, hey, Aquaman, we heard you can talk to fish and these weird fish monsters are attacking people. So there's this whole dynamic going on with the police, with the media, everyone, where they think the only thing that's special about Aquaman, especially compared to these sort of living god characters like Superman and Wonder Woman in the Justice League, is that he can talk to fish. And they're even still trying to maintain the sort of myth that Atlantis is not a real place. So he shows up and he does what he can and he saves some people. And I mean, this is all in the very beginning of the story. I'm not spoiling too much for you. He's never seen them before. Like it's like a whole brand new thing for Aquaman. He doesn't recognize them and he barely understands like their thoughts, but they still think in a language. So, they have like this sequence. They have to find out the origins of these monsters and where they come from and everything. And, they go see Dr. Shin, who he also has a different story with than in the movie. And there's this whole argument between him and Mira because, Mira has this newfound love of humans and just wants to protect humans. And she and Aquaman have a disagreement over whether or not they should be trying their best to like communicate with and coexist with these monsters, or if they need to like take violent action in order to save humans. So we have to find out what the implications are even after they make those decisions, which one of them wins the argument, for what this is going to mean for the rest of the Aquaman story and the creatures of both the sea and the land. Thematically, this introduction to a new Aquaman story that a lot of people haven't read yet covers a few things. I mentioned the whole grief narrative where Aquaman walks through memories at various points of the story, talking about the values he learned from his dad, who he's still grieving. Mira is still learning how to live in the human world and how to coexist with humans. And obviously she cares about them deeply because of this argument she has with Arthur. But at the same time, she's having her own issues that they go into like in detail. They focus a lot actually on Mira learning to live on land in this volume. And then most of all, there's this sort of meta commentary going on about how Aquaman has previously been considered in our real world to be this very uncool, make funnable hero. And, bloggers make fun of him, and the police say things like, oh, we'll make sure to make you look good and tell them that at least you helped a little bit, when he just saved everyone. So this is part of the New 52 storyline, and I know a lot of people felt really strongly one way or another about the New 52. A lot of characters got rebooted. They changed some really big things. But I think recognizing some of the older tropes about Aquaman and what he does and what he stands for, and incorporating them into the story now based on his interactions with government and the media was really cleverly done. And I really loved it. This series is what really made me be an Aquaman fan, partially because Geoff Johns wrote it, and I'm a huge Geoff Johns fan, but also the art is just so beautiful. There's such a great use of, since there's so much underwater things going on, really dark blacks, sort of inky darkness of the ocean, and then bright colors of our superheroes used intermittently. But what really, really shocks me going through this is that even in the really small quarter or less panels, the amount of detail in this artwork is just breathtaking. So even if you've never been an Aquaman fan, even if you didn't really like a lot of things that happened in the New 52, I really, really can't recommend enough that you pick up this Geoff Johns Aquaman story. It starts with Volume 1, The Trench. Make sure you let us know in the comments if you've ever been an Aquaman fan, or if you're considering being one, or if you have any funny jokes about Aquaman and, him talking to fish or anything like that. This is Crayle Vanest signing off with Back Issue Breakfast Club, part of the Back of the Cereal Box Network.